This Oregon coast town was almost destroyed by a plant and then saved by cheese. There are more than 10,000 cities on Earth. I'm David and I'm headed to every single one to find out why they exist, how they got their name, what you have to see, and what you have to eat before you leave. Today we're in Bandon, Oregon, finding out how one plant helped burn this entire town to the ground, why Face Rock became one of the most famous landmarks here, and how beach trash from this coast ended up in the Smithsonian, and how one of the best things to still eat here is cheese. This is Bandon, Oregon. Welcome to The Wild Escape. Bandon is that kind of town that looks peaceful from a distance. A quiet beach, small waterfront, 3,000 people. But almost everything you see here was built after 1936. The entire street, all of it, because in one night, nearly everything was gone. The question is how a town this size ended up burning to the ground, not once, but twice. And it had to do with an Irishman's favorite plant. So let's go back to the beginning. So why does this town exist? The Nasama people, a band of the Coquille Tribe, built their village at the mouth of this river. Hundreds of people lived here, and the river worked like a road. The ocean gave them food, the rocks on the beach were special and important, and the people still tell stories about the rocks today. In 1853, the first white settlers came to stay in the valley, and 3 years later, the U.S. government forced the Coquille people to leave. They were sent to a reservation far away, and in 1954, the government said to the tribe that they no longer officially existed. The tribe fought for 35 years to be recognized again, and they finally won that fight in 1989. They're still here today. After the Coquille people were forced out, new settlers moved in, and many of them came from Ireland. In 1873, a man named George Bennett came from Bandon, Ireland. He saw the mouth of the Coquille River, and he decided to stay. He saw the big rocks on the beach, the trees in the hills, and the good farmland in the valley. This is when he knew that this was his place. He made a good choice, because within 10 years, the town had a post office, a sawmill, a cheese factory, and fishing boats. By 1910, it had become the most popular place to visit along the Oregon coast. George Bennett also brought something else with him from Ireland. Once he settled in, his sister had sent him seeds from Ireland. The seeds were gorse, a pretty bush in Ireland. It stayed small because other plants and animals kept it under control. But in the Coquille River Valley, it grew wild, and it spread everywhere in the town, between buildings, along roads, and through empty lots. Gorse has bright yellow flowers, so visitors thought it looked beautiful, and Bennett was proud of the plants that he established in his town in 1936. A botanist had warned the town, though, that the gorse was full of oil and it was a fire danger, but nobody did anything about it. A week later, a forest fire came near town. When the fire reached the gorse, it exploded into flames. One person told the reporter that the fire shot straight high into the sky. He said it looked like someone had poured gasoline on it, and the water didn't help at all. The plant just kept burning. The founder's gift ended up burning down the town he had built. But Bandon rebuilt anyways. Bandon showed its resilience. Bandon's local newspaper was printing again within 2 weeks, working out of an old bank building, since it was one of the few structures still standing. The editor scrapped together just enough parts from the rubble to get the news in the hands of the people. That's the kind of people who built this town, and that's why when you walk through Old Town Bandon today, it feels like a place that truly matters, because it cost the town so much to get here. So how did Bandon get its name? Before it was Bandon, this place was called Averell, named after the Averell family who was one of the first to settle in this valley. Nobody left much of a written record about the Averells, and much of their history was sadly lost. The name was changed to Bandon by the man named George Bennett. Bennett was not a typical frontier settler. He was a college-educated Irishman who graduated from Trinity College in Dublin. He crossed over the ocean with his sons in 1873, and he ended up crossing the entire country to wind up at the mouth of the Coquille River in southern Oregon. He left behind his wife and daughter who decided to stay in Ireland. Once he arrived, he took charge of building the town. He laid out the streets, helped plan the community, and in 1874 he officially named this town Bandon. It is the same name of his hometown in Ireland. His family still lived there, and he must have missed it enough to put his name on the coastline on the other side of the world. To celebrate, he planted gorse, using seeds his sister had sent him. But as you heard earlier in this story, you already know how that ends. Bennett is buried at the Averell Pioneer Cemetery on a hill above town, where his family name is still carved on the headstone. For how old it is, Bandon is still a small town. But don't let the size fool you. There are over 1.2 million visitors annually in Bandon. People visit because of the small town charm, one of the best golf courses in the world, and of course the natural beauty of the Oregon coast. Today on our itinerary, we have 3 locations to stop and see. Our first today is Face Rock, a beautiful sea stack located right in town. This stretch of southern Oregon coast is home to some of the most breathtaking scenery in all of the state. And there's no better place to start than Face Rock. Rising just offshore, this iconic sea stack has become the symbol of Bandon, with dramatic ocean views, sandy beaches, and a stunning and legendary story that makes it a must-see stop. Long ago, the Coquille people gathered here with tribes from all along the coast. Among them was a princess named Iwana, and she had come with her father to join the celebration. Iwana had never seen the ocean before, and the size and power amazed her. The elders warned her to stay back. For Sitka, the spirit of the ocean ruled these waters and claimed anyone who entered his realm, but Iwana could not resist, and she ran into the surf. Sitka rose up and took her. He turned her into stone, and her face still gazes up at the sky today. Her cat and kittens froze in the rocks beside her, and her loyal dog turned to stone at her side, guarding her still today. What makes Bandon's beaches unlike any other stretch of the Oregon coast is the sheer number and variety of stacks, including Cathedral Rock, Wizard's Hat, Table Rock, each shaped by centuries of waves. Elephant Rock stands out from the rest. The ocean carved a natural arc through its base, and at low tide, you can walk right through that one. These formations date back to the Jurassic period, so they're not going anywhere anytime soon. The trail from the Viewpoint leads down to the beach, and at low tide you can walk right up to any of the formations, where the tide pools are full of sea stars, anemones, and many other sea creatures. In the summertime, volunteer spotters even set up scopes, so you can watch the tufted puffins up on the rocks. Go early and go at low tide. It's the best time to go. Cross the Coquille River into Bullard's Beach State Park, then follow the road all the way to the Coquille River Lighthouse, one of the most unique lighthouses on the Oregon coast. Built in 1896, the lighthouse stands just 40 feet tall, and it was placed where the Coquille River meets the Pacific Ocean to help guide ships safely across the bar. The lighthouse stopped operating in 1939 and sat empty for decades until the Oregon State Parks restored it in the 1970s. In summer, volunteers open it for tours and take visitors up into the lantern room. Take a stop by if you ever want to see the innards of a working lighthouse. This is one of few that you can do that on the Oregon coast. And while you're out here, take a walk on one of the few walkable jetties in Oregon. As you're walking along the jetty, just be careful of your surroundings. Every now and again, a surprise wave could pop up and surprise you. Welcome to Old Town. Like many coastal towns, Bandon has a boardwalk where you can watch boats come and go. Local seafood markets sell fresh fish and crab caught right here off the coast. One thing that stands out as you walk along the boardwalk is an abundance of art. There are sculptures, displays, and art installments everywhere. As you walk through town, you'll find a number of art galleries that feature unique pieces across many styles. One artist even had an entire exhibit in the Smithsonian called Washed Ashore. Angela Posey is an artist in Bandon who kept finding trash washed up on the beaches. And rather than just picking it up, she decided to make art with something that had been so carelessly disposed of in our oceans. Since that day, she has created over 70 sculptures made from trash gathered from the ocean to raise awareness of the damages caused by pollution. Her and her team continue to make sculptures and teach people how to make art out of everyday items. Besides art studios, you'll find many shops to stop at that have a wide range of unique gifts so that you don't go home empty-handed. There's so many things to see downtown that there's something for everyone. Fortunately, it's right next to our last stop of the day, Face Rock Creamery. Our last stop today is Face Rock Creamery, one of Oregon's main cheese exporters. Bandon has actually been making cheese since the 1880s, when dairy farms between Bandon and Coquille started producing more milk than the town can drink. Rather than letting that dairy go to waste, boats would deliver milk upriver to Bandon, where the cheesemakers would turn it into a finished product, age it, and then ship it off by sea. There was so much milk produced in the valley that 10 cheesemakers were established by the end of the 1800s. Over the years, cheesemakers would combine forces or put each other out of business. By the year 2000, only one large cheesemaker remained. the Bandon cheese factory. Though it was a cornerstone of Bandon, eventually an outside corporation had bought it, shut it down, and then demolished the building. The community was furious. In 2013, the city partnered with the private investors to bring the cheese back to the community. And Face Rock Creamery was born, named after the town's most famous landmark. Their clock-bound cheddar has placed top 15 in the American Cheese Society competition out of nearly 1,500 entries. What's unique about this factory is that it allows you to watch the cheese-making process through the viewing windows. Something few people know of is squeaky cheese, which isn't so much of a style or flavor, but it's fresh cheese curds that if you eat right after being made, have a signature squeak that you hear when you chew. This isn't something that we could show you on camera. You have to come here and try it for yourself. After 140 years of practice, Bandon makes pretty good cheese. 2 fires and a corporate demolition crew couldn't even stop it. And I, for one, hope they keep making cheese well into the future. Bandon isn't particularly unique in this history, or its story. What is unique is the charm that it has kept around all these years, and the tenacity of the people to continue to grow, create, and celebrate its art, culture, and history. Bandon has a story made up of small victories and big setbacks, but it's made a name for itself as a destination for visitors along the Oregon coast. Before we leave, I want to show you guys something. This plaque commemorates the Bandon Fire, and it does a great job showcasing what makes this town special. Let's check it out together.
From this vantage point on September 26, 1936, you could hear the roar and feel the crushing heat of the flames. As they swept across the city of Bandon, lives were lost and 434 buildings were burned to the ground. There were survivors. They surveyed the catastrophe and chose to stay and rebuild. It is to their spirit and courageous determination we dedicate this marker with our gratitude and respect, for without the valiant effort of the few, the many of us who now enjoy the bounty of Bandon by the sea would not be living in this favored city today.
This is why I do this show, because the world is full of places that have history on every corner and plenty of stories to tell. There are over 10,000 cities in the world, and I'm glad I stopped at this one. Travel with me next time on The Wild Escape. For the next video, I'm going to be heading south. Subscribe to find out where I end up next.